Alright, what's going on guys, it's Liam here, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And in today's video, I want to talk about my summer update expectations, or just what I want to see from it in general and stuff like that. Obviously, we have a couple things confirmed, like the new Polaris raid coming out, and all that will be having the nullity and void templates. Alright, so the first thing I'm hoping for is some substantial PvE content, right? Wiz is a more PvE orientated game, but as of recent years, it's kind of felt like it's not really had a lot of PvE content aside from the big world we get at the end of the year, obviously. But I'm hoping for, some big PvE content to come in the summer. Obviously, you could argue that's the raid, but the issue is the raid, if it's not accessible, it's just gonna, kind of be overlooked by the community. A lot of people still don't even know what a raid is. So I'm hoping aside from the raid, there is going to be some substantial PvE content and stuff like that. But if there isn't, I hope the raid is a lot more accessible than the Crying Sky raid. I think the first raid was a good balance of accessibility in my opinion. So if they can kind of make it more accessible and reasonable to get more people into guilds and raids, I think that would be great. Next up, for PvP changes, I'm going to keep this one brief because I've talked about this a lot. So obviously, death is really broken still, and they haven't done anything to really nerf it, essentially. So I'm hoping we can see some death nerfs, whether that's like poison, ghoul, drains, stuff like that. Just something to make the school not be the best school. I'm also hoping for some storm buffs because, again, it's been years and the school is still unplayable. It's only been playable for like probably a total of a month in 5th Age, so not good. And lastly, I'm really hoping for some ranked system changes. Wiz is by far the worst competitive game I've ever played in my life. The elo exchange is really bad. Typically, other elo games, if you lose to a low ranked player or a lower ranked player, it's about 2 to 3 games back. But Wiz can be upwards to 10 matches for 1 loss. Then you combine that with all the RNG like deck fills, counter matchups, and crit. It's just really a bad system. So I wouldn't mind seeing elo just completely go away, or if you lose less on the bad matchups, or stop losing 20, or tighten up the bans maybe. Next up on the topic of PvP, I would also like to see some fresh new rewards, right? Because currently we only have a reason to play for rank, but the rank system is kind of screwed, like I just stated in the elo point. So give us a reason to play that is not just for rank, give us some new gear, a new mount maybe, a new pet that you can only get by being, doing PvP, stuff like that. I think that'd be great and really give us a new reason to play the game, a new perspective, because PvP has been kind of feeling stale for a while now and all. And just thinking back to 4th Age with duelist gear and all, commander gear, people were so hyped to actually get that gear set, but those same people aren't really doing PvP because they don't have a reason to anymore, which again is leading to the decline of 5th Age PvP and all. So I'd really like to see more reasons to play PvP and actively engage with the system, because most high rank players and middle rank players only really play to get their progress saved for the reset that happens at the start of the next season. That's the only reason you're really playing for currently in the game. Next up, I would like to see pet and mount stitching. Now, we've asked for this for like a little over a year now, and I think they brought it up on like a KI Live or a roundtable and all, and I don't think the devs are opposed to it. They're just not sure how to like properly morally introduce a system like that into the game, which I can kind of understand, right? But at the same time, it's like kind of feel like you should have this figured out by now. It's been over a year, so I don't know, but I really like to see that because I have so many stitches and mounts that go together, but I can't use it because I need a stat mount for whatever, a set bonus, pierce, or pip chance, right? We have to run these ugly mounts that don't match with our outfits because of stats. Next up, I would like to see training point buyback be gold and not crowns. This is an issue simply because we have strats we want to try out and dual skill with, but we can't actually get our training points back to try those new strats because we have to pay, right? So it's just another barrier to entry that is really annoying, and especially when you want to swap between PvP and PvE, it gets really frustrating. For example, as someone who primarily does PvP, I need all like 40-50 of my training points for cards in PvP, and that results in me not being able to train enchants for PvE content. So then if I want to do PvE on my storm or something, I have to go back, pay crowns just to get the enchants trained to do PvE, and then vice versa when I go back and I do PvP, right? So it's a pretty big issue, and it's just one of those quality of life things like the spellament reset to gold that would help a lot of players. And I mean, maybe it makes KI lose some money and all, but at the end of the day, it would make the barrier to entry lower and make the game feel a lot better. Okay, next thing I would like to see, which is going to kind of revolve around the new raid coming out, but just in general going forward, is when we get upgrades to gear, I would like that upgrade to actually be substantial and feel worth it, right? For example, if we look at Wallaroo and Novus, or Shabalba 160 to 170, the upgrade is like literally like 30 health and like 1 damage maybe, or just something very minor like that, to the point, well, why would I even go in and do another raid or go in and do all that Wallaroo farming just for basically nothing, So I think they need to make the upgrades actually look and feel a lot better. And I guess if you're a dev watching this, maybe you could kind of enforce things more, right? So if Storm is a damage school, right, and the level cap goes up, give it more than just 1 or 2 damage. Give it like 7, right? Give 1 or 2 damage to Ice maybe, but then Ice is a resist school, so give them like 6 resist in place, Like kind of exaggerate your Rochambeau stats a bit more. Don't be so afraid to take risks on things, right? Because we're kind of in a state where players don't want to go out and get their gear and upgrade it because there's just no point to. So I think that's a big issue, and I really hope they can get this next raid right, because the raid community has kind of been up in flames ever since the second raid came out. So we're kind of all looking at this next raid to be, polished, be desirable, not be broken Crying Sky raid gear all over again, be accessible and all, and be worth it, but also not like you have to do it like Crying Sky raid, right? So I think I really like to see that going forward in general, and not just for the raid, like the Nightmare to the library template, still not worth it. It's literally 30 health, 1 damage, and 1 pierce. Like, who cares? And lastly, I'd like to see pay to win just get the hell out of the game. It's been years and years of this, and it has get dialed down quite a bit, but there still is stuff like Kroger Jewels in the game. There's still the Wallaroo Wastelander hat that is meta for 5 out of 7 schools in the game, and you can only get that by paying. That's the only way for 5 out of 7 schools. Okay, so basically going forward, if we're going to put a new pack out, we should have a new free-to-play PvE alternative. We should not have to wait 6 months, half a year, or forever to get a PvE free-to-play alternative or version of it, right? This has been like this for a while now. Burrow gear, Skyfarer's gear. Now we have the Wallaroo Wastelander pack as well, and I think there's probably a couple before that. Motorist, right? Stuff like that. So I would just really like to see this die out. It's just been a battle going on for so long, and hopefully we can not see that be a thing anymore. But that's everything I got for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you on the next one. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments below, and leave a like. It helps out a lot, and I will see you later. Thank you for watching, and take care, y'all.